In this camp run by the Greek government, people are crowded into containers and makeshift tents while they wait to see what their fate will be. Other EU member states promised to take in 66,000 refugees, but in the past year, barely 7,200 have been granted asylum. Here on Samos, people are waiting to be allowed to go to Athens to finalise their asylum applications. Those who are turned down are deported to Turkey or back to their home countries.
أول شيء ضلينا هون نحن صار لي أنا هون حوالي 3 أشهر. في عالم صار له 10 أشهر. طيب هلا الواحد هون مو عرفان حاله لا لو ضلان هون لا رجعان على تركيا لا طالع من هون، ليش ماني عرفان؟ والمعاملة أسوأ ما يكون.
اجاني رفض مو بس انا يعني بشكل عام للسوريين كلهم بالتحديد الاكراد عم يجينا رفض واعطونا رفض انه نحن لازم انه منطقه امنه تركيا، نحن تركيا يعني مبينه كلها الاعلانات واذا يفتحوا كتب التاريخ انه عم تحاربنا ولهلا عم تضرب فينا وتقتل فينا، لا ما حدا عم يرد علينا يعني، واكثر العالم يعني ما فيها مرضت هون لانه عم نحس حالنا بسجن. سجن مفتوح يعني موت بطيء يعني إنسان ما له حدا بالدنيا يعني جاي هون يموت موت بطيء يعني.
And if we go outside, people in here they're also acting like we are not a human. And police they are asking that why you are here, go back to camp. You cannot walk, you cannot buy something, you cannot eat something in city.
But getting away from the camp is their only distraction. Going for a walk outside, fishing to supplement their food, or taking their children to the park. The deal is supposed to facilitate family reunification. Samira is Palestinian. She lived in a camp in Syria before fleeing the war. 3 of her children are in Europe.
أنا حياة كلها مأساة بمأساة، يعني عمري 50 سنة ولا حالي ما إلي حدا ما إلي معين، عم بستنى بس حدا يرحمني وأروح لعند أولادي. أولادي يسندوني، أولادي يعني يكملوا لي بقية إذا بأيام بالعمر، يعني ما بدي غير أولادي بس يضموني، أضم أولادي. صار لي 2 ما شايفة أولادي.
MSF offers psychological care on Samos.
You know, often people come and they unfortunately develop psychological problems when they've been here a long time. So I see a lot of people who are very, very depressed because of the state of limbo that their life was in. So there's a lot of people who are very, very traumatized, who have, you know, really horrific experiences that they're describing, you know, having had to like pull, you know, kind of bodies of family members out of, you know, the rubble of their, and they really, really need support.
MSF puts up the most vulnerable people in hotels. Hassan and his family have been staying in a room for several days now. Next week, they should be able to go to Athens and finalise their asylum applications. This morning, Selmusa is going to see Winile, a patient who suffers from MDR-TB, multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis.
Some of the side effects of the treatment of MDR, it damages the hearing. So then that's when we use the sign language to communicate with those patients who've got hearing impairment. Sign language is so interesting, it's not hard.
Like Winile, 25% of patients on treatment develop hearing loss or become totally deaf. Patients undergoing treatment in Matsapa Clinic have their hearing checked regularly. MSF is conducting operational research into the length of treatment and the side effects. To reduce patients' social isolation, MSF is breaking new ground and providing sign language lessons. 7,000 new cases of tuberculosis are diagnosed in Swaziland every year. 900 are resistant to treatment. So every time a patient is cured and handed a certificate attesting to their good health, there's a lot to celebrate. After 6 years of war, 5 million Syrians have sought refuge abroad and another 6 million are displaced within the country, living in camps like this one, close to Atmeh in the northern province of Idlib. This little boy's injury was not caused by a shell or a weapon. His burns are a consequence of the harsh living conditions in the camp where he now lives. This hospital is the only one in northern Syria providing specialist care for burns.
بصراحة عندنا أعداد كبيرة من المصابين كل يوم عشرات المصابين معظمهم من الأطفال والنساء. السبب هو مواد الفيول رديئة التصنيع وكمان المدافئ محلية الصنع.
Makeshift heaters used for cooking and keeping warm in tiny tents means accidents are only too common. The hospital's emergency room is open 24/7. There's also an operating room where in 2016 over 4,000 procedures were performed. The most severe rotavirus infections occur primarily in children under the age of 5 years. There is no specific treatment. Only rehydration and zinc supplements can reduce the severity and length of the infection. Although most deaths are among children in Africa and southern Asia, rotavirus infection is a worldwide phenomenon. This shows that good hygiene practices are not enough to prevent it, and that therefore a vaccine is necessary to stop hundreds of children from dying every day. There are currently 2 vaccines that protect children against rotavirus, but not all children. Their cost and efficacy, the fact that they must be kept refrigerated, and their bulk all mean that in many countries where MSF works, especially sub-Saharan Africa, they are less available to children who are therefore less protected. But the 2 vaccines have no competition, so their manufacturers have no reason to adapt them to the needs of these children. MSF's Epidemiological Research Centre, Epicentre, has spent years conducting studies on diarrheal diseases in Niger's Maradi region. Using data showing close to 1 in 3 children are rotavirus carriers, Epicentre, MSF, Niger's Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization have completed an efficacy trial on BRVPV, a new vaccine produced by the Serum Institute of India. Over 4,000 children took part in Phase 3 of the trial to prove the vaccine's efficacy. The results, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, are conclusive. Firstly, the vaccine is safe and effective in over 66% of cases. This is far better than the results obtained by the existing vaccines in the same region. Secondly, it is heat stable. Contrary to many vaccines, it doesn't need to be maintained at a temperature between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius, as it remains effective for up to 6 months at 40 degrees Celsius and up to a year at 37 degrees Celsius. So it's suitable for use in remote areas where it can be extremely challenging to maintain the cold chain. Thirdly, it costs less than the existing vaccines, so the poorest countries will be able to purchase it without having to depend on subsidies that may not last forever. The vaccine is licensed in India and has been submitted to the World Health Organization for pre-qualification. This is critical as it means the vaccine can be purchased for use in vaccination programs. As soon as it is pre-qualified, it can be rolled out and used widely. Beyond the immediate impact BRVPV will have for millions of children, its success proves that it's possible to develop a vaccine specifically adapted for use in developing countries.
When they started this killing in the night, you find somebody has been abducted, somebody is being attacked on the way, maybe somebody is trying to travel and they're being attacked by gunmen. People started getting worried. Myself, I was so worried because where I was living, the area alone is risky. You can't stay until 8 outside. You have to be home by 7. So we started getting worried of those things that were happening. Killings in the night, people come to attack you at your door. This is my second time to be a refugee. I was first a refugee in Uganda when I was a child. That was in 1992. So when I arrived, I felt like this is the same life, but I was a bit worried because that time the life was hard. Most of my relatives are struggling to come, but they cannot make it. But others are still on the way. As I talk, they are trying to reach Uganda through Congo. So when I see that misery, I know that things are still not going to be okay. Me, Susan, to be honest, I will wish to go to South Sudan when there's peace. So I will go to South Sudan when I see that my future is going to be bright. When there are schools and when I see that everybody is going to school and I'm able also to go to school, I will go to South Sudan.